I had the hardest time today hitting record for this live because I've been feeling the promptings to talk to you about my younger brother's death. My brother Darin passed away in 2004 from a drug overdose. And for many, many years, I left that alone. I was very silent about my brother's passing. And one of the reasons I was silent was because I was embarrassed that I had a brother that passed away from a drug overdose. I was embarrassed because I didn't have the gospel of Jesus Christ in my life. I have heard from so many of you through DMs and comments that have struggled with addiction, whether it be alcoholism, drugs, and I just feel the prompting to tell you that I need to share my younger brother's story and his journey because he was one of my major revelations to joining the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And one of the biggest blessings I was able to have was to complete his temple ordinance work at the Provo City Center Temple. And that was when I did his proxy baptism and confirmation when I was a limited temple recommend a few months after I was baptized. And doing that, I felt his presence and his spirit so strongly. I knew he accepted those ordinances on the other side. And I know he's an angel and he's watching over me and I can talk to my brother anytime I need to. Because if you've lost a loved one or are experiencing addiction, no, there is help. And that you can reach out to our church and we have addiction recovery programs and we have things that can help you with that. And I have seen so many of my friends that follow on Instagram deal with and say, I'm a recovering alcoholic or I'm a recovering drug addict. And I am partial to them because of the fact that I lost my younger brother to a drug overdose. And when we had my brother's funeral, so he passed away in 2004, and my 81-year-old grandmother at the time found him dead in the bathroom of the laundry room of my parents' home. And it was an extremely emotional time. She was the pillar and the strength that held our family up. I was traveling in Columbus, Ohio on a business trip, and my parents were in Vermont in Stowe. So I had to rearrange Sunday night to find a flight. I had to fly all over the US to make sure I made it home to be there. And hearing that phone call, he's dead, broke my heart. But now, through the plan of salvation and through the atonement of Jesus Christ, I know that I will be sealed to my brother for eternity and that he will be with me and that I have him now and I can call upon him and ask him for help when I need it. And I feel him in the smallest ways. And one of the biggest things was I shared a few weeks ago a selfie when I had my revelation. And I was driving to Palmyra, New York, and I was screaming at God to blow my engine, blow all 4 tires. I don't care. And I said a very generic prayer. And after that, I was screaming and using non-LDS words at my iPhone because I couldn't get service because I was in the middle of nowhere. And so I said, guess I got to listen to the old-fashioned radio. And I turned it on and hit seek, and a Christian station came on. I said, well, that sounds nice, so we'll leave it on that. The next song to come on was I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me. And if you haven't heard that song, BYU Vocal just did a version in April 2019. I love it. Love the BYU version. It just, when I listen to it, I'll dance with you, Jesus. I'll hold you in my arms. I know my brother is present. And that song comes on randomly. It comes on without notice. And so if you're struggling with an addiction, whether it's being alcoholism or drugs, I really want you to know that you have a friend in Jesus Christ, first of all, and God are there and can save you. If you just ask for help or assistance and reach out to your bishop or anyone and say, I am struggling with an addiction, because I don't want you to be a statistic like my younger brother. I don't want anyone to be a statistic, which is why I am so firm against, that's why when I was taught that the words of wisdom with the missionaries, the questions were easy. Yes, yes, and yes, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't drink coffee. I gave that up back in 2000, 100 years ago, because it gave me acid reflux and I just didn't feel right. So I was one of those that I drank coffee because it was expected of me, because my dad drank coffee and my grandpa drank coffee. So, Dennis, son, you're of age, put hair on your chest, drink coffee. And I did, but I didn't like it. It was like, ugh. So I gave that up because it just didn't resonate with me. It was giving me, I was going to have to go on Nexium. And I said, why do I need to take a pill? Just stop drinking coffee. So that's why the words of wisdom resonated with me so much, because I wanted to know, I knew that there was a reason. This gospel is true. The church is true, and the book is blue, as I say. So you may be noticing I don't have a lot of paprika in me right now, but it's more of a solemn, spiritual feeling that I'm having, because I was really nervous to hit record. And I was shaking when I was hitting my thumb to hit record. But I knew my brother was here. I said a prayer. I could feel him. I could feel his presence. Jesus behind me. I could feel the love of my brother. And it wasn't until after I joined the church that I shouted it at the rooftop. Yes, I lost my brother to a drug overdose. And before that, I was embarrassed by it. And why was I embarrassed? Because I was the VP of for division of Procter & Gamble, and I handled their high-end hair care line. And I was something that feeling embarrassed, like people were going to say, because I have blonde moments a lot, and I'm feeling like, and I trip and I fall and I walk into doors and elevators, as you saw in the reel today. And, I do funny stuff, but that's just a Dennisism. And I didn't want people to say, oh, has he been drinking? Or is he doing drugs like his brother? So we never, ever judge other people or assume unless we have actual fact. And that's why I rely so much on scripture. And I just want to say that if you have a family member that's dealing with addiction, let them know that you love them, that you will always be there for them. I have seen God move miracles. I have a friend that is no longer in the church, but she still attends church every week with her wife. And she's welcomed with open arms. And she was in jail because she was addicted to drugs, and she knew exactly what it was going through. And I love her, and I can't wait for the day that I can attend church with her and sit next to her, because isn't that amazing? So reach out to somebody who who hasn't been to church in a while, or if you feel compelled to invite somebody to sit next to you, do it. And I'm just going to say I'm leaving love and light, but I want to get to all of your comments. So I got to scroll back because I haven't been doing any waving or anything. So I'm just going to take my phone off my cell